So I'm about to watch a video about why Marvel Rivals is not an Overwatch clone, and literally the first recommendation on the video is another video that says, yes, Marvel Rivals is an Overwatch copy. And I just got done playing some Marvel Rivals, and granted, it's fun, but it does feel a lot like playing Overwatch. But that being said, it feels more like that because of the game mode. There is definitely a lot of differences, but that's like saying every first-person shooter is the same. There's always going to be similarities with same game modes. So I'm curious what this one has to say.
Marvel Rivals isn't a clone of Overwatch. In fact, it feels like a real Overwatch 2. Kinda.
I'm better. I am better.
So I'm in the alpha for Marvel Rivals, and with
what happened with Overwatch 2, frankly, I would be happy that there would be some sort of addition, because I was pumped for Overwatch 2, and then it wasn't really Overwatch 2. It was basically like a slight tweak to the original Overwatch and no real differences and a bunch of broken promises.
7 hours under my belt now. I'm ready to put in another 8 after I'm done with this video, because for those of you that don't know, Marvel made a 6v6 hero shooter, and this might be the best thing Marvel's done since Endgame. I am not kidding. Now, I know what you're thinking right off the bat. Brad, isn't this just discount Overwatch? There's no way a game like this could possibly take on Blizzard and actually... Wait, what did you just do? Oh, yeah, there's destructible environments. Oh, that's pretty... Is that Spider-Man? Oh yeah, he's like a Genji on crack. His web swinging's pretty good, and it feels like they ripped him out of the Insomniac games. I mean, it's literally Yuri, and yeah, he's pretty tough to learn, but dude, he's so fun. What is that? Oh, Doctor Strange? Yeah,
I had a lot of trouble playing as Spider-Man. He's a little difficult. He's a little challenging, but he is fun, especially the web swinging.
Imagine if Reinhardt could fly and had a portal gun, and don't even get me started on Star-Lord, because this guy is so cool. The game even has a built-in theater mode. Oh, also, do you want to join my faction? We're gearing up for the tournament mode, and, well, there's a cash prize for it, and they're adding comp tomorrow, so we can all gear up and kind of train for it. And, oh, by the way, it's 6v6. Oh my god, it's more of a sequel to Overwatch than Overwatch 2 is. Yeah, that's what I said. Do you have a code? No one hates Overwatch more than Overwatch players. Please help me. For an alpha build, Marvel Rivals is taking some pretty big swings. Made by NetEase Games, Blizzard's best friend turned enemy turned friend again, whose portfolio can...
I feel like that's becoming a trend in the gaming industry, is like a game developer screws over their own developer, and then that developer goes off and makes something better for somebody else.
Consists only of mobile games. We'll get to it. I went into this alpha skeptical, because if you Google NetEase Games, their reputation is, well, they make mobile games. But as soon as the game launched, I realized I was in for a treat. Right off the bat, this game's quality is crazy. When you see a menu like this, where the characters pop out, have demo abilities, difficulty rankings, show their synergies, and, oh yeah, recommend strategies and combos for how to use them, it's pretty clear to me that NetEase Games knows what they're doing. You see, this game already answers a problem Overwatch has. Learning curve. As someone who got into Overwatch pretty late into the game, I remember being completely overwhelmed by this screen. I mean, the sheer volume of characters alone is intimidating, not to mention what average Overwatch gameplay looks like. Rivals is showing that it's not only looking to attract experienced players, because some of these characters are absolutely cracked, but also wants to be an on-ramp for people Overwatch in its 10 years of characters, metas, rosters, and experience have left behind. I'm not going to Overwatch University. I'm sorry. Getting into my first game, what struck me the most were the character designs. Star-Lord hasn't looked this good in a game since, ever. And oddly enough, all of the base character designs are just really good, except for Magneto, who's, oddly not purple. I don't have a favorite color or anything. It's fine, but, like, he's not purple.
Be wary.
Was that Obi-Wan? Like most hero shooters, the characters are broken up in 3 classes. A tanky boyo for us meatheads, DPS characters for ADH kids and annoying people, and healers for all your bisexual friends to fawn over.
I tend to roll tank more often than not. But I will say one thing I've noticed is that there's slightly different abilities and controls for each character. So when you're playing Overwatch, it's basic, like you have 2 abilities, they're synced to the same buttons, that's it. But different heroes in Marvel Rivals have different abilities and different amounts of abilities, and you might press C for one of them, but press a different button for some of the others. And that's taking a little getting used to for me, and I'm probably missing out on some mechanic because I didn't do enough tutorials, but honestly, I just wanted to get in and play the game.
Quality. To give you an example of how fun the kits are, I mean, just look at Star-Lord. I ended up picking him first because this guy Frame1 picked Spider-Man, and honestly, I'm glad he did because Star-Lord goes crazy. I've seen a lot of people immediately compare him to Tracer because, oh my god, 2 guns and he moves around fast. But guys, he's not Tracer. He's if Soldier 76, High Noon, and Amazon Alexa had a baby because he's so chill to play. He's armed with laser-like submachine guns. His left shift lets him fly around for a few seconds. Right click does this sick dodge and reload thing. His E is Reaper ult, and his actual ult is...
It is literally the Reaper ult, just die, 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 and spin around.
Aimbot. Oh my god, and surprisingly, every character in this game is kind of built like this, and, well, it makes sense because they get to learn from all of Overwatch's mistakes and start fresh.
I think I struck the mother load. Those...
Nothing to worry about, just using the scope.
See, another problem that Overwatch has aside from just general hero bloat is that a lot of the characters they've added do not work in their classes now. Support heroes like Kiriko or Moira that either do a huge amounts of damage if you have high skill or, you know, just play the game for you don't really belong in a bisexual support category. Because what's the point of DPS if the person who can heal does more damage? And Rivals recognizes this with its kits, and those playstyles are fun to play, but make sure to keep them in the right spots. In fact, this game doesn't just borrow from Overwatch, it borrows from a lot of games, iterating on gaming's best character skills, mixing and matching them, and then using them in some really interesting ways like we saw in Star-Lord. Spider-Man is like if Doomfist had to rely on his speed and agility instead of his block to stay alive, and I'm kind of scared what Genji players will do with him because, well, you get jumped by him already. He's a menace. No, he definitely says fucking.
Oh my god, you're dead.
The Hulk is a diva-like character that starts out as a Twinkie banner, and then you hit Q and experience Twink Death. He's got a rechargeable jump, ranged clap attacks, a stun, and he gives shields to your teammate. The Punisher is the classic I can't believe it's not Call of Duty character, and despite being built like a meatball, this guy can move. They gave him the really fun twist of having Pathfinder's grapple from Apex, Valorant's smokes, and Salvador's ult from Borderlands 2, and Groot's playing Fortnite. I'm not kidding. And I can already hear the chatter about how this game is stealing from Overwatch, but here's the thing, guys. They're actually breaking the mold, because Doctor Strange is one of the coolest characters in this game for one ability alone. Portal. Two portals. You can put down 2 portals. Not only does this ability completely change how you approach attacking and defending points in game modes like Hardpoint, Cart Push, or Tug of War, because suddenly a whole team can come from anywhere, but they're Portal 2 portals. You can shoot through them. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Creativity we're gonna see from people using these for lineups and angles alone is...
In general, the overall strategy and mobility in the game is far surpassing Overwatch. Because the amount you can like whip around as Spider-Man or fly around as Iron Man or create portals as Doctor Strange, it adds a lot of versatility to the game and a lot more strategy.
Is going to be insane, let alone strategy and moving around the map. And again, it shows that NetEase is not only just borrowing the formula from Overwatch, but is willing to mess with it and take risks. I mean, the game isn't even first person for a reason. FPS games are great for shooting. I mean, first-person shooter. It's in the name, but one thing that first-person perspective games have always struggled with is melee. From Skyrim's combat to Genji from Overwatch and, well, Dying Light where it actually works pretty good. First-person melee combat is really hard to get right. When you're approaching characters like Spider-Man, Magic, Hulk, and Black Panther, if you went first-person, you'd have to compromise a huge amount of...
I feel like there is a power spike with Black Panther, though, because I got my ass handed to me more often than not by a Black Panther.
What makes those characters special to work as an FPS. Can you imagine a first-person Spider-Man game? Oh, I'm gonna be sick. To put it simply, the third-person angle was something I was really skeptical of, but for what this game's trying to do, it actually works pretty well. There are moments where Spider-Man genuinely looks and feels like he was ripped out of the Insomniac games. Magic plays like a Devil May Cry character, and the Hulk feels like he's in an open-world PS2 game, and when you put these really fun melee characters in an already chaotic formula, it just works. And again, it kind of blows my mind how well this playtest is going. I mean, it feels less of an experiment and more of a warning shot to Overwatch. Because it is.
I mean, Overwatch gave themselves a warning shot by failing every promise they made about the game.
These two have deep deep beef, but we're gonna make a long story short. NetEase is one of China's biggest game devs and publishers, and from 2008 to 2002 was Blizzard's BFF. In fact, they were such good friends that they were actually the ones distributing Blizzard's games into China. But in 2022, things went sour when the two had a huge falling out for, yeah, you guessed it, greed. You see, Blizzard's old CEO and human greed monster, Bobby Kotick, allegedly wanted 5 years advance pay for their deal, which NetEase said, what? And then a few lawsuits later, Blizzard's out of China. And NetEase is pissed, like statuing up a giant World of Warcraft statue. Pissed. And while these two made up last month since—
I can't imagine being like, oh yeah, pay me 5 years up front. That's a little absurd. And I can imagine people being pissed about that.
You know, Xbox is just going around buying and closing every studio they can get their hands on.
I like money.
Bobby got his $375 million to fuck off, and that was it. We're partners again, right? But it's when I look—
No matter what, CEOs get what they want. They get paid out. And it's not like they're going to be pissed about a multi-$100 million payout.
Over this chain of events that I can't help but speculate, and well, we love our gossip here. Guys, I think this game might just be out to prove something and might be a middle finger in Blizzard's direction. While Overwatch has become a shadow of itself, canceling promised features, collaborating with Porsche and K-pop bands, which a banger song, but Marvel Rivals is laying the foundation for something great. I mean, what kind of alpha launches with a working theater mode? Clash of Clans faction systems apply to mine today. Competitive mode on day 2, a feature where everyone gets play of the game at the end of the round if you click on their name, and a story that's already progressed more than Overwatch's story has in the past 8 years. They're still on this, and part of me, maybe naively, thinks that a game being this good gameplay-wise off the bat can start to wake up the giant. These guys have—
I mean, if you're talking about story, yeah, it's kind of hard to compete because Marvel's been around a long time. But otherwise, totally agree with all those points.
history, right? Like, come on, do something, get up. Guys, I didn't make that thumbnail for no reason or for clickbait. We want Blizzard to sweat and try to do better. We could get 2 cakes. I think with Marvel Rivals, a lot of people were really stressed out about that first word, which honestly, I don't really get because, yeah, Marvel's Avengers sucked, but even I can recognize that Guardians and Midnight Sun are pretty good. In fact, I'm surprised people aren't worried about NetEase because, again, if you Google them, there's some red flags. You see this, guys? I learned from multiverses. I'm a growing boy. I wouldn't call them a Chinese EA because that literally exists, but look, they're a super corporation. They abandon games. They help make Diablo immortal. They make gacha games. They made Diablo immortal.
Do you guys not have phones? Yeah.
This is their first real—
Do you guys not have phones? One of the most infamous... I miss what Blizzard used to be.
swing at a quote-unquote real game, and yet I'm kind of optimistic. I mean, I feel like this is kind of a good matchup. With Marvel and its massive well of characters to dig into tied to a game like this, it really plays to its strengths. For a hero shooter, that logo is a blessing. It's the it factor. No one's gonna care about Paladins, even if it has better gameplay than Overwatch because, well, people are attached to and love these characters. Wooten is one of my favorite types of brain rot. It's high noon is iconic even today, and Shell Bebop is practically a brand of his own on TikTok. You can't just start from zero with a hero shooter or any character-based game today because, well, the love is already there. And what IP has been more dominant in pop culture in the last decade than Marvel? Spider-Man.
That's honestly what things like Concord got wrong, is they didn't make engaging, fun, interesting characters that people wanted to play as. They were more worried about the optics and less about the fun and what people just enjoy.
Alone is going to get people to flock to this game. He's the biggest superhero ever. And then add in other icons like Iron Man, Hulk, Groot. And that's just the stuff that's in the game now. It's that Guess Who game of who's next that keeps these games alive and really offers some of the best marketing that exists in games. I mean, Multiverses has been gone for a year, lost all of the faith in its fans, and somehow the Mark Hamill Joker is reviving this thing. Motherfuckers, I'm still not over this. You guys are getting excited over this slop? I'm sorry, I'm getting upset. I can't do it again. I can't do it again. Marvel just has such a pool of characters to draw from. I mean, imagine it's Deadpool, Wolverine, Ant-Man, Daredevil, that one guy in all of the Spider-Man movies, or cool comic book characters like Squirrel Girl or Jeff the motherfucking Shark. Literally anything is fair game here, and
I didn't even think about how they're going to be able to like constantly release new characters and keep people hyped about it. Like, oh my God, Daredevil's coming out this one, or Deadpool's coming out this season. Like, people are going to be so hyped for it nonstop.
That's where NetEase comes into the partnership. I mean, monetizing in a game like this is pretty good and pretty harmless, all things considered. It's like I said in live service sucks. If the game's good, free, and well, the purchases are optional, everybody eats. Spider-Punk's already in the game, World Hulk is already in the game, and it's in third person so you can actually see them. Oh my God. And I'm gonna get real here. The game.
Yeah, honestly, I had a whole bunch of Overwatch skins that I really loved, but I always got disappointed that I couldn't actually see my character with the like awesome skins I had.
It's not perfect. It's a little stuttery at times, and the balancing needs work because Wanda can do, oh, it's Wanda from WandaVision! She's solo ulting me! That, and, what happened? This should probably get nerfed just a little bit, but the way I view it, damage tweaks are way more fixable than an inherently broken game, and, well, if they wanted to do the money squeeze, why did they keep microtransactions out of this? I mean, they could have pulled a multiverses and started selling a founder pack from the start, right, guys?
Don't even
Obviously,
get
at the end
about
of the
it.
day, it's a free-to-play live service game, and it's gonna need to make money. It's an alpha right now, it's really early to say how things are gonna go, but I gotta say, they didn't need to make the battle pass free, include premium currency, not allow in-game purchases yet, and then make a heater of a game on top of all of that. Each character design shows so much care and love, and this game was made by people who are fans of Marvel and hero shooters. It's in details like these pop-out animations in the main menu that show such effort on something that, well, it could have just been a highlight, but they took their time with it, and that's a really, really good sign. This game doesn't feel like a cash grab aesthetic change of Overwatch. No, that's Overwatch 2.
That was Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 was an absolute embarrassment to gaming. It shouldn't have happened. But if you have any interest in these games, I highly recommend it. Marvel Rivals is free. I tried it out. It's super fun. And I honestly had to take a break from playing it to make this video because I have to come out with a video every day. But it's worth it. Go check it out.